Like and subscribe to support the channel. Donations welcome.
Negotiation, mediation, and arbitration represent alternative dispute resolution (ADR) methods, offering alternatives to costly and time-consuming litigation. Each method possesses unique characteristics, advantages, and disadvantages, making the selection of the appropriate method crucial to achieving a favorable outcome. Understanding these nuances is essential for anyone facing a legal dispute. Negotiation, the most informal of these methods, involves direct communication between the disputing parties to reach a mutually agreeable solution. It requires a willingness from all parties to compromise and find common ground. The process is typically less structured than mediation or arbitration, allowing for greater flexibility in approaching the issues at hand. A successful negotiation often hinges on effective communication, empathy, and a clear understanding of each party's interests and priorities. Parties might choose to negotiate directly, or they may utilize representatives, such as lawyers, to assist in the process. The representatives can provide guidance, strategize approaches, and help ensure that the negotiation proceeds smoothly and productively. However, even with representation, a successful negotiation requires a collaborative spirit and a commitment from both sides to reach a resolution. One of the significant advantages of negotiation is its cost-effectiveness. Unlike litigation, which can involve substantial legal fees and court costs, negotiation avoids these expenses. Furthermore, the informal nature of negotiation allows for greater control over the process and outcome. Parties retain autonomy in determining the terms of the settlement, resulting in a solution that is potentially more satisfying than one imposed by a court or arbitrator. The flexibility inherent in negotiation also allows for creative solutions that may not be possible within the confines of a formal legal proceeding. For example, in a commercial dispute, parties might negotiate a mutually beneficial arrangement that involves continuing their business relationship rather than a simple monetary settlement. This preserves ongoing business interests that a court judgment might inadvertently damage. However, negotiation is not without its limitations. Its success depends heavily on the willingness of all parties to engage in good faith and compromise. If one party is unwilling to negotiate or is entrenched in its position, the process may fail to yield a resolution. Furthermore, the lack of a neutral third party can create an imbalance of power, particularly if one party possesses significantly more bargaining power than the other. This power imbalance could lead to an unfair or unsatisfactory outcome for the weaker party. For instance, a small business negotiating with a large corporation may find itself at a disadvantage due to the corporation's superior resources and negotiating expertise. The absence of a structured process can also lead to protracted negotiations, potentially delaying resolution and adding unforeseen costs. Mediation offers a more structured approach to dispute resolution than negotiation, introducing a neutral third party, the mediator, to facilitate communication and guide the parties towards a mutually acceptable agreement. The mediator does not decide the outcome of the dispute. Rather, they act as a facilitator, helping the parties identify common interests, clarify misunderstandings, and explore potential solutions. Mediation emphasizes communication and collaboration, encouraging parties to find creative solutions that address their underlying needs and concerns. A key advantage of mediation is its confidentiality. Unlike court proceedings, which are generally public, mediation is typically confidential, protecting the parties' privacy and preventing sensitive information from becoming public knowledge. This confidentiality can be particularly important in disputes involving personal or business relationships, where protecting reputation is a significant concern. Further, mediation is often faster and less expensive than litigation. The streamlined process and avoidance of court costs significantly reduce the financial burden on the parties. The collaborative nature of mediation often leads to more durable solutions, as the parties are more invested in the outcome because they actively participated in shaping the agreement. In family law disputes, for example, mediation allows parents to craft solutions that best meet their children's needs while considering their own circumstances. This personalized approach can be far more effective than a judge-imposed decision. However, mediation is not suitable for all types of disputes. It requires the willing participation of all parties. If one party is unwilling to cooperate or engage in good faith, the mediation process may be unsuccessful. Also, the lack of a binding decision can be a drawback. While the mediator can guide the parties, they cannot impose a solution. If the parties are unable to reach an agreement, they will need to pursue other means of resolution, such as arbitration or litigation. The mediator also lacks the authority to compel the production of evidence or to enforce any agreement reached. This limits the mediator's ability to address disputes involving complex factual or legal issues. Arbitration, a more formal method than negotiation and mediation, involves a neutral third party, the arbitrator, who hears evidence and makes a binding decision. The process is generally more structured than mediation, resembling a simplified court proceeding. Parties present their cases to the arbitrator, who then issues a final and binding award. Arbitration can be binding or non-binding, depending on the agreement of the parties. In binding arbitration, the arbitrator's decision is legally enforceable, while in non-binding arbitration, the decision is merely advisory and can be appealed to a court. One major advantage of arbitration is its efficiency. The process is often faster and less expensive than litigation, as it avoids the complexities and delays associated with court proceedings. Arbitration offers greater flexibility in choosing the arbitrator and the procedures to be followed, allowing parties to select an arbitrator with expertise in the relevant field. This expertise can lead to more informed and accurate decisions, especially in cases involving complex technical or specialized issues. For example, in a construction dispute, the parties might choose an arbitrator with extensive experience in construction law and practices. The arbitrator's specialized knowledge would likely lead to a more efficient and accurate resolution than a court proceeding where the judge might lack such specialized knowledge. Arbitration also offers greater privacy than litigation, as the proceedings are typically confidential. However, arbitration also has limitations. The cost of arbitration can still be significant, particularly if the dispute involves complex issues or numerous witnesses. The arbitrator's decision is final and binding, meaning that there are limited avenues for appeal. This finality can be a disadvantage if the arbitrator makes a mistake or if the process is unfair. Furthermore, the lack of public accountability inherent in arbitration can be a concern, especially if the arbitrator is perceived to be biased or unfair. The lack of discoverable evidence in arbitration may also limit the ability of parties to present a fully developed case. This can be a particularly significant issue in disputes involving complex issues where extensive discovery is necessary to fully develop the facts. In conclusion, the choice of dispute resolution method depends on the specific circumstances of the dispute, considering the nature of the dispute, the relationship between the parties, the desired outcome, and the resources available. Negotiation offers an informal and cost-effective approach suitable for relatively simple disputes with cooperative parties. Mediation provides a structured and confidential process suitable for disputes requiring collaboration and a mutually agreeable solution. Arbitration offers a more formal and efficient process for complex disputes requiring a binding decision. Understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each method enables individuals to choose the most appropriate approach to resolving their legal disputes effectively and efficiently, minimizing costs and maximizing the chances of a favorable outcome.
Like and subscribe for more content.